All right, let's get started. Well, welcome to the Mayday launch webinar on this sunny, well, at least in London, sunny morning, and really excited to kind of share with you about how we're going to make your month-end process more sunny as well with the technology that we're bringing to bear for you. So let's talk Mayday Recharger, making month-end less painful, starting with Intercompany Recharges. So this is Mayday's launch day. So I'm David Tuck. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Mayday. I'm an accountant and chartered tax advisor by training, and then moved on to be a startup and SME finance leader before spending 7 years as the founder and CEO of Chaser, which some people may have heard of, be familiar with as accounts receivable software, which won Xero's App Partner of the Year award in 2016, the accounting web cloud app of the year, 2017 through 2019. And yeah, left there back in July 2020. I've been consulting in and around accounting tech, and yeah, really excited to be launching Mayday today and on our mission to make month end less painful for startups and SMEs. Over to Griff.
Hi everyone, I'm James Griffin. Everyone calls me Griff. Delighted to be here working with David. David and I met best part of 10 years ago now, when I was CTO of a tech startup called Idio, and Dave was doing some finance work for us. We became great friends and have talked Intercompany Recharges pretty much non-stop since then. So a good 10 years in the making. Yeah, in between then, so after Idio, I was CTO of a tech startup, an HR tech startup called Runway for 4 years, before Dave and I sort of reconnected last year and started talking about, you know, what this might look like, and really excited to be here and launching a product. Yeah, launching Mayday with Dave.
Amazing. So we're gonna be on for about kind of 20 minutes this morning. There's the chat function, so please do fire any questions at us as we go. There'll be a sort of dedicated Q&A at the end, but always keen to pick up questions where possible, you know, as they arise, where most relevant. So please do fire them through in the chat, and then we'll pick them up there. But yeah, without further ado, we're just going to run through who Mayday's for, the problem that we're addressing. And then we're going to do a quick demo of the product, run through the pricing and the trial structure, and then next steps for how you can start benefiting from Mayday and making your month ends less painful each month. So, I mean, first off, who we're for. So we are for you know, people who are looking to do kind of finance properly, beyond just the bookkeeping and making sure that the information is up to date kind of each month. And so we're making month end less painful for in-house finance teams, fractional CFOs who will kind of manage the finance teams for a series of businesses that they work with, and then accounting firms who provide professional finance as a service to their clients. And so, you know, these are the common theme here is that month end is a recognized thing. It's a sort of ritual that needs to be done each month, closing off. And how can we make that less painful for you? And we're starting with intercompany recharges. So where you have multiple connected entities by way of shareholding, be that kind of corporate shareholding, where there's a kind of single parent company that owns some or all of the shares in the group, or where its business is connected by virtue of the same individual or group of individual shareholders, and the costs and revenues that need to be recharged between those entities to make sure that each makes the kind of correct correct profit or loss for accounting purposes and pays the right amount of tax. And historically, you know, as you'll identify this as being cumbersome and time consuming, you know, we found from our research that 50% of companies that we spoke to only run their intercompany recharges yearly, and 5 hours is the average amount of time spent calculating those intercompany recharges. It's a heavily manual process, it's time consuming, and as a result, it's often lower frequency than it could and should be carried out. And the solution, over to Griff.
So the brilliant thing about Mayday Recharger is it takes away all of that pain. So there's two things you need to do to get set up with it. And the first is to connect each of those entities with Mayday Recharger so that we can start gathering data from zero, collecting that, ready to recharge it at the end. And that's creating your recharge group. So that's that group of connected entities that Dave mentioned, connecting each of those into Recharger so that we know who they are. And then you create your rules, and rules are really the lifeblood of Mayday Recharger. This is what governs how transactions are recharged to different entities in your group. And there's a number of ways that you can set these up. So for instance, you could say everything every transaction in this specific nominal code for this entity or this specific account code should be recharged at cost to these entities. Or, transactions within this tracking category should be recharged at cost plus 10% or 15% to other specific entities. Or perhaps there's revenue we've generated from a specific customer that's actually due to one of the other, or a portion of it is due to one of the other entities in our group. You can set up those rules, and once those are all set up, you can run your calculations, and Mayday Recharger will automatically figure out what each of the recharges between your entities should be. You can manually adjust them if need be, so you can manually change the rules that we've applied to specific transactions. And then it will generate the invoices that you need to post them straight into Xero and get it all done. Taking that process that took 5 hours before, and maybe you only did once a year, down to just a few minutes, plus some setup at the beginning.
Brilliant. And why is this so important? Recharge Bliss that we're helping you to get to. What are those benefits, and what's it going to mean for you? So as Griff's saying, running your recharges monthly in just 2 to 3 minutes, those recharges will be fresher in your mind. So there's no more the kind of, once a year doing it and having to remember what the kind of transactions were, potentially, the relevant team members have left, max, it's going to be kind of 4 weeks, how old the transactions that you're dealing with. You can get a smoother profit and loss account and balance sheet. No more kind of lumpiness with processing those recharges once a year that, I remember I've been in that situation as a finance leader, and you're having to kind of explain to other stakeholders why there's a spike in the profit compared to other months. Now it's smooth. It gets done regularly, monthly, just like you would do the depreciation journal with Xero. Accurate tax reporting for your kind of, for your quarterly, monthly, half yearly tax reporting that you're required to make. All of your kind of profit and loss figures are accurate there. You've got increased visibility of your year-end corporation tax liability because those profit figures are now contemporary, rather than there being a big kind of, one-off shock impact coming in at the end of the year when you process those recharges that then has tax implications. The recharges themselves are more accurate. So let's say you're apportioning costs by headcount. If you do it once a year, you're taking a headcount figure based on what it is at the year end. Whereas if you're doing it monthly, you're now able to capture changes in headcount over the course of the relevant year. You'll substantiate the intragroup relationships are arm's length for transfer pricing purposes, because, in an arm's length relationship, would businesses really wait just once a year to make those recharges? No, they wouldn't. And you'll be able to assess entity performance more accurately, where you have kind of local country management of the different entities within the group, for example. You now got an ability to properly assess the performance based on their P&L, that in the absence of putting those recharges through, the management information and the profit and loss reported in respect to those entities is going to be distorted. So those are the benefits of Mayday Recharger. Now we're just going to step in to the product itself and do a quick demo. And much like your recharges each month, you don't want to be spending loads of time doing those, and we're going to channel that into the demo. So this is going to be a very short and sweet 3-4 minute demo of how your recharges are going to look each month. So this is once you've connected all your Xero organizations, as Griff talked about earlier, you've created your recharge group. So there are 3 things about us as a product. That's it. groups, rules, and calculations. So this is your group. This is all of your different entities set up and connected. So in this example, we've got Mayday HQ demo, Mayday Australasia demo, Mayday Inc. demo. And then you create your recharge rules, which govern how different costs and revenues will get recharged. You've got 3 different types of rules. Recharge at cost. So this is not anything kind of transfer pricing related. This is where you've got costs, some or all of which are for the benefit of other entities within the group. So you create your rule, you point that rule at the different, at the particular transactions that it should apply to, using any combination of account code, tracking category, contact, and even transaction description that will pull through from 0. So in this example here, we've got group subscriptions, which we're pointing at these 3 account codes. You're then saying for those relevant costs, how should they be apportioned? What should be recharged? And here we're apportioning them by headcount, which is a setting that you'll have applied within the different group entities, and you can update over time as the headcount of those entities changes. And then you're specifying which nominal code, which account code should those costs be posted to in the entities receiving the recharge. And that's it. And you're creating as many of these different rules as you want and need for all of your recharge scenarios. The second type of rule we've got is cost plus. So very similar to recharge at cost, but in this instance, we're getting into the world of transfer pricing. We're marking up those costs by a particular percentage. So the example we've got here is it's the operations of the finance team, which are all employed by the parent group entity, Mayday HQ, but some percentage of their time is spent on the other group entities. This is the estimate of the time spent. It's then getting marked up by 5%. Here we've got income being created that needs to be posted to a revenue nominal code in Mayday HQ. And then where do we want the cost to be posted to in the group entities receiving that recharge? The third and final type we've got is where you might have sales of a particular entity. In this example, Mayday Inc., which is making sales to third-party customers, but some element of that sale relates to activity of another group entity. In this example, when Mayday HQ owns the relevant IP. And so we're then pointing this rule to particular revenue transactions for Mayday Inc. and saying, actually 60% in this example of those sales, of that revenue, belongs to Mayday HQ. And then we're telling the rule where the cost should go to in Mayday Inc. and where the revenue should go to in Mayday HQ. And that's that. That's our 3 different types of rule: cost, cost plus, and sales based, for revenue based for any of the kind of the any and all of the recharge situations that you'll have and you'll need. So once you've created all of those, and you can easily tweak them and add to them anytime you need to, this is the final part of Mayday as a product. This is the beautiful experience that you're going to have each month. You're going to jump in to Mayday Recharger, make any tweaks or add any new rules, which will happen every now and then. And then once you're ready, you're just going to click and say, I want to run recharges for a particular month. I've got a Blue Peter star. Here's one I made earlier for November 2021. And so the rules will then do their thing. We'll take the transactions that it's pulled through from 0. And then much like you would do when you're reviewing a VAT return, you've now got either by account code, if you want to view it like that, or by the recharge rule, if you prefer to view it that way, the recharge treatment for the transactions across the entire group. And then you can easily just jump in and review particular transactions. If you want to, you can click and that will deep link the transaction back into 0. So one click away is the full transaction information if you do need any more information about it. And you'll just run down this list, check that you're happy with the recharge treatment applied. If you're not, if for whatever reason you want to apply a different recharge treatment, you can just easily toggle that transaction and apply a different recharge treatment. And that will easily update in your calculations. And that's it. So you'll jump in, you'll review, you'll spend 2-3 minutes reviewing each month. And then you'll just jump to the final stage, and that will show you all of your bilateral intercompany recharges that you need to post for the month. And that's that. That is your new intercompany recharge monthly process. So that's everything from the demo side of things right now. I know I went slightly over my estimate of 4 minutes, but only by a couple of minutes, which for first time of seeing them, I'll accept that. So yeah, that's everything that wanted to show from a demonstration today. Griff, the Mayday Recharger impact.
Yeah, well, we've been working with some fantastic beta users for a couple of months now who've been using the product, setting up their groups and rules and running their calculations, in some cases alongside running it in their traditional way as well. And so we've been lucky enough to have some fantastic reviews already for our app, which went live on the App Store on Xero yesterday. And we've got 3 reviews on there now. We featured 2 of these here from David McKay and Brian Nickel. But we now have reviews from those 3 personas that Dave talked about earlier on, the fractional CFOs, the in-house teams, and the accountants as well. So they're fantastic. And I do encourage you all to go and have a look at our App Store page and read our glowing 5-star reviews, which we're incredibly proud of.
Amazing. And so pricing, Griff, talk us through pricing, talk us through trial.
Yeah, so the pricing is really simple. So all the features, once you're subscribed, you get all of the features. There's no sort of leveling in that sense. And then the pricing is per connected entity. So if you've got a recharge group with just 2 entities in it, then you'll get the base price. And then beyond that, the prices there's a discount the more entities you connect to your group. As I say, all the plans include unlimited users, unlimited calculations. So you can invite all of your accounting team or all of your clients into their group to collaborate with you, and all support in there as well. There's a slider on our website, getmayday.com, where you can see how much this would cost for your specific recharge group. As I say, the more entities you add, the cheaper it gets. And there's also a discount if you choose to pay up front annually. And finally, there's a 14-day free trial. So you can go to the website, you can sign up today. For 14 days, you can use it free. You can run 1 calculation, but you can still set up all of the entities you want and all of the rules you need in order to run that calculation and check it's doing exactly what you expect.
Amazing. And for the accountants who are joining us, so a thing to add here in respect of buying for your firm, Griff talked about the kind of the pricing slider and the ability to kind of, it increases the more entities you have within the group. As an accountant, you will be able to buy in bulk across all of your clients. So the example here, 30 clients, each with 3 organizations in their group. If each of those 30 clients were paying individually, there would be a cumulative charge of £420 a month. You have the ability to buy 90 organizations for £301 a month. So that's the opportunity you have to use Mayday Recharger across your broader client base. Does anyone have any questions about what we've covered today? Amazing. I've got a question come through here, Griff, about, we talked in calculations about how would output the invoices or journals. What about the actual posting it back into Xero?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, what that page will offer is a CSV download for each of those invoices that you can upload straight into Xero in order to post it back. But we're going to be working hard over the next few weeks in order to completely close that loop and post those invoices back into Xero automatically, so that you can do everything from within Recharger. And once you're happy, it's just a 1 click and all of your entities will get the appropriate invoices posted in there. If anybody has anything specific they'd like to see in that feature, it would be great to get some feedback so that we can make sure we're covering all the bases for the way that people would like to post those invoices back.
Amazing. So we're sort of 3/4 of the loop with, your rules, your calculations, and then right now it's you needing to do that sort of that final mile of intercompany recharges and taking that information we'll output to you and post it in Xero. But we're going to close the full loop very soon. Great question coming through from Darren. Is the platform Xero specific, or does the platform work with, for example, QuickBooks for US transfer pricing?
Yeah, absolutely. That's something else we're going to be working on. Once we've closed the loop with Xero and we've got everything tidied up, so we're pulling in the transactions, create the rules and posting back in, we're going to be working on other integrations with other accounting systems. So we're starting to build a priority list of the systems that we will integrate with. QuickBooks is definitely on that list, and if you'd like to see it bumped up a little bit, please let us know. So again, any feedback, any other systems you're using for your other entities in different parts of the world, please let us know so that can inform our roadmap process.
Brilliant. And Graham has a great related question on that. Is it possible to create one-sided entries if, for example, the recipients of intercompany recharges are not contained within Xero?
I'm going to let you cover that one, Dave, I think.
Amazing. So Graham, right now, no, it needs to be an exclusive kind of Xero family, so to speak. But in the same vein as Griff just covered with accounting system integrations, in the broadest sense, we'll consider that, so that a kind of an Excel-based kind of output in terms of the recharges that you could either input and or output, so that you can then go and post to those non-Xero using entities is part of that. So we're really, really keen to understand, from our kind of target, from our target users, people we want to be helping make month end less painful, how they're doing intercompany recharges today with the range of different kind of systems that they're working with within their group. Amazing. Well, look, those are some great kind of questions there. Final ones just come through, Griff, around how the trial works.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can sign up on our website. So if you go to getmayday.com, there's buttons on there to sign up for the trial. We've integrated sign up with Xero, so it's a one-click to get into the product. Once you're in, it'll take you through a quick onboarding flow, and then you've got a 14-day free trial. So you can go through those two setup steps that I described earlier. You can connect all of your Xero entities to create your recharge group. You can set up the rules that you need as well. All of the rules are then available. And then we'll have synced the transactions in the background, and you can run the calculations for 1 month. That's the real limitation of the free trial. Obviously, beyond it being 14 days, you can only run a single calculation. And hopefully you're really happy with it. And hopefully after that, you're happy to subscribe.
Amazing. Well, that's everything that we plan to cover today. Thanks so much. It's been amazing to have the opportunity to share Mayday 1, our launch day, with you. And just like from a personal perspective, I'm so kind of excited about the benefits we have to bring you in terms of making month end less painful. I remember when I first came to using Xero as an FD, and it would have been nearly kind of 10 years ago now, and I'd used Sage Line 50 previously, and it was doing the VAT return and doing the bank reconciliation. Like the VAT return when I was using Sage Line 50, it was like half a day to a full day's work once a quarter, and it blew my mind that with Xero it was now just a 5-minute kind of review, report by exception, and click submit. And similarly, the way that we got to do the bank rec with the kind of the bank feed and the matching of transactions compared to the manual printout, uploading them, checking that they were correct, again blew my mind. And we're really, really excited we think there's an opportunity to do a similar thing when it comes to the month end process for businesses, for teams, for people who are looking to do finance professionally, properly, who love Xero as their bookkeeping system. And Mayday Recharger and Intercompany Recharges are our first stop on that journey. And really, really excited to help you and for the accountants joining us, for your clients as well. Start making month end that much less painful. So thank you very much for joining. I hope you'll visit us at getmayday.com for your 14-day free trial. Our email addresses are at the bottom there. Love to hear any kind of feedback, anything we can do to help you. We're moving really fast, and feedback and suggestions are really such a core part of the sort of the fuel that powers our car in that regard. So please do get in touch. And yeah, we hope to see you at getmayday.com and signing up for your 14-day free trial very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.